Degrees of holistic fitness and health, all in one podcast.
Salutations and proclamations. It is I, it is you, it is us, it is we. Together, we make up the digital family that is the De La Fit Podcast. What's going on, everybody out there? I'm your host, Philly's number one son, aka the Body Alchemist, Sun Moon Bay, welcoming you to another podcast excursion. That's right, De La Fit Podcast, 360 degrees of holistic fitness and health in one podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Shout out to everybody, all our listeners, all our growing fans. We appreciate you greatly. I know this phrase has been said before, but you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. And we appreciate you greatly because time is short, and energy can be used to do so many positive things. And the fact that you're taking the time to spend your energy and sit down with us, we greatly appreciate that. We've got a great show for you today. I've got a great guest, a humble man, a great individual, just a cool guy. Mr. Richard Kaufman, former military, Army, former National Guard, is going to be sharing his story with everyone out there. This man, if you don't know Mr. Richard Kaufman, please Google him, hashtag the comeback coach. He is worthy of his moniker. He has survived substance abuse and has triumphed, in my opinion, and is taking his knowledge, taking his experience and using it to help other veterans, to help individuals, period, to help humanity. And I mean, what more can you ask for? I mean, that's what we're about here at the De La Fit Podcast. Each one teach one in the village. And you know what I say about the village? We're all a part of the village. I mean, and when I say we're all a part of the village, I'm not just talking about here where I'm at in Philadelphia or in New York or Boston. I'm talking about all the way here to Kilimanjaro. We're a part of the village. Somewhere, somebody is in need of help, and as we talk about fitness and I should say holistic fitness and health, I've always like to explain that you're not totally fit if you're not hitting the three or all of the main areas. It's not just about lifting the weights. It's not just about making sure your diet is straight and eating clean. It's much more than that. Although we discuss that, although I love to talk about that, it's not just about what you're doing financially. It's about what you're doing spiritually, and it's not just about what you're doing spiritually. It's about what you're doing financially. We are hitting the 360 degrees of holistic fitness and health. That's what we're about here. And Mr. Kaufman, the comeback coach, that's what he is doing. He is reaching out the hand, trying to help his fellow veterans, trying to help his fellow woman and man. And that's going to be a great, great show, a great, great interview that we're going to get to soon. Before we get to that, I want to discuss a little topic. I was hit up by one of my mentors, the trainer's trainer, Jeffrey Snyder, one of our continuous guests on the podcast, who is also, for a lot of you all out there, you might not know, he is one of my mentors in the fitness industry or fitness journey. Before I got my certifications and I would go to the gym, he would assist me in a lot, and it was always open to answer questions. He hit me, sent me a tag on Instagram. For those that don't know, I'm on Instagram at I think it's body_alchemist at Instagram, something like that. I don't know right now, but whatever. That's not the important part of the story. But he hit me up and he was saying, I want you to see this. And it was a young woman. I think she's a teenager. I want to confirm, but she's powerlifting, and she did a 315 bench. A 315-pound bench press. Clean, man. And let me tell you, I was excited. Man, because I get excited whenever I see anybody progressing and positive, whether it's in sports, in life, whatever, because to me, it gives you hope. Hope is the most important thing that we have on this planet. And whenever I see something like that, it gives hope. It means we're getting stronger. And for me, I was ecstatic because I have my own personal views on a lot of different things. Some people might agree with, and some they probably do not. But that's just the way that we are as human beings. But one thing I've always been against is this thing that's like, men are naturally stronger than women. And as I have in my experience and travels and going to different gyms and things like that, I have seen some very strong, capable women. I've seen some strong, capable women that can outlift a lot of men. I know some right now that I could take it to the gym with me, and they can outlift a whole lot of individuals out there. And they're smaller. Some are smaller, some are a little bigger. But the thing of it is that I like that because I feel that we have adopted many, I don't want to say stereotypes, but we have perpetuated many psychologies that aren't true. They're based on a small situation that was taking place at one time. That's just like I've always been totally against the fact that women mature faster than men. Let me tell you something. I grew up with 3 sisters. I have a lot of women relatives, and I know some who have been in the petty gang for a long time. All right. And for those that don't know what the petty gang is, all I can say is if you know anybody that's petty, you have that one person that's petty about everything. Well, listen, I have a lot of women friends and relatives who are in the petty gang, and as well as men friends and relatives who are in the petty gang too. But when it comes to maturity is not based on or how quickly you mature is not just solely based on gender. So, and I know that firsthand. Just like strength is not necessarily just dictated by gender. All right, there are some men and women who are just phenomenally athletic, strong. Just that's it. That's the part of humanity that we, in my opinion, we need to stop trying to psychologically control. We say these things that a woman is basically not as strong as a man, and I feel that is basically a lot of, excuse my language, bullshit. We say these things and we think about them, and if we really think about them, let's be honest. What is your opinion of the great God of the universe, the father, mother of the world, the author and creator? What is your opinion about him, her, or the all that is the one that created us? My reason for asking that, and I know many of you out there like, well, wait a minute, you're getting into religion and things like that. No, I asked you what your opinion is of the creator of all of us. For some of you out there that might not believe, that's fine. If you don't believe that there is one great God in the universe, you are so welcome to that. But for everybody else, or whatever your thoughts are on the creator, this is what I want to say. My biggest argument has always been, if he created, or she, or all, created everything that ever was, is, and ever more to be, then why would he create an imbalance? In my opinion, I don't see anything that is imbalanced when it comes to the great creator's creations. There is no imbalance. I'm not talking about the imbalances that we as human beings create within ourselves and within nature. I'm talking about the creations that the creator himself creates. I don't see any. I see human beings that are equal to each other in total. I mean, so when I see certain things, I'm just like, that's interesting. And then the thing of it is how do you equate equal? For me, things balance out. That's the scale. That's the equality. There is no man without woman. There is no woman without man. Women give birth. Men plant the seed that gives the woman the child to give birth to. Now, I know we're in a modern society, and this might upset some of you out there. Like, yeah, but we don't need, artificial insemination, which just came about maybe within the last 30 years. Before that, we've been doing it the same old way. And after that, we'll be doing it the same old way. There's a reason for it. We, I think, have forgotten the reason. But I'm getting off the topic. What I want to stay on topic is the fact of I was ecstatic about this young woman's lift. And this young woman's lift made me feel good because, again, it gives us hope. It makes me feel good because I have young women in my family. I have nieces, nephews. And I want them to be able to believe and see that it is possible. That anything they physically want to do progressively, they can do. They have unlimited possibilities for progress. If a young woman wants to be strong as hell, be strong as hell. Lift that building. If a young man wants to be as intelligent as he wants to be, you can do that, and vice versa. So I was very proud of this, and I'm going to try to share the link. I'm actually going to try to get this young woman on the podcast because I would love to hear her story. But I just wanted to share that with everybody out there because I feel that this is what we need. This is what we truly need in the world. We need to start pushing more of the true equality, the true positive progression in humanity. Not this other nonsense. Not this propaganda bullshit. Not this, oh, well, this person's this. No, look. Haven't we separated and divided ourselves enough in humanity? Aren't we still doing that? We haven't learned in how long? How many wars? How many empires, cultures, tribes have destroyed themselves? But again, don't let me start because, I get into these tangents and I'm going to come out. But yeah, man, it was great to see. It was awesome to see that. I hope to see more from this young woman who, again, I'm going to share her name off the top of my head. I don't have my phone near me, but I will share it for everybody because I just want you all to see this young woman. I mean, she was phenomenal, in her lifting, and share it with if you have children, share it with your children. Share it with your young boys. Share it with your young girls. Let them see that it's equality. Let them see strong men and women. Let them see two people, a man and a woman working in the gym together, spotting each other, doing it, playing sports. Let them see it. It's going to do nothing but help build them. That's what we're talking about. 360 degrees of holistic fitness and health in one podcast. That's the De La Fit family. Guess where you are at? You're home. You're home with the De La Fit podcast. Come on in. The door is wide open. Sit down. Take a seat. Got some biscuits in the oven. Got some vegan food for you. If you're not vegan, we can probably do something else for you. It's the De La Fit podcast.
You're listening to the De La Fit podcast, now available on Spotify, iTunes, and Google Play Music.
We're back. De La Fit podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning into the De La Fit podcast. I'd like to slow things down a little bit right now because, first and foremost, I have a guest who I am ecstatic and honored to have on our show. First things first, a little bit of quick background. I come from a family of military people. My father was a Marine. My uncle was in the Army. I have relatives in the Navy and the Air Force. So when I saw this person come up on our radar and I read his story and his bio, it touched my heart because, I have family who are in the military. And I definitely wanted to have him on the show. it's taken a little while to get him on there, but no fault of his own. It's just me and starting this awesome journey, which is this podcast. But we are now here. It is my extreme pleasure to introduce Mr. Richard Kaufman. Mr. Kaufman, are you on the line?
Yes, I am. Thank you for having me today.
It is our extreme pleasure. First of all, we like to say to you, thank you for your years of service to our country, and just for your time that you're taking right now to share your story and to tell, to reach out to others.
Okay, that's my whole mission in life, is to help other people.
So let's start from the beginning. When I'm reading the other interview and information that I have from you, I've seen that one, you were in the military for a number of years.
24 years. Yeah.
24 years in the military. But the biggest thing I was watching is the fact of, or I should say reading, is the fact you had an issue with alcoholism and drugs. So
yeah, well, do you want from the beginning, or you just want to wherever you want to start? I'm good with.
I want you to really start from the beginning, dealing with this. Just how did this start, and tell us a little bit about you and the beginning, from starting in the military to how this started. This took place.
Well, the whole alcohol thing started. My father left when I was like 3 months old.
Okay.
So my mom took care of me, and she, we lived in a poor neighborhood, and we moved like 10 or 11 times by the time I was 11. And then I tasted my first taste of alcohol about 11 or 12, and I was a full-blown alcoholic by the age of 13.
Wow.
And then I joined the military at 17, found drugs and alcohol in the military, and got paid to party. Stayed for 2 years, and they decided they didn't want me in anymore, so they threw me out for not conforming to standards. And by then I was a full-blown alcoholic and drug addict. Got home, lived with my mom for about a month, and she threw me out. So I was homeless for a while, and then I bought a car, and I lived in a crack house for a while, but I drank all my money away. So they threw me out of the crack house. That's bad when you get thrown out of a crack house.
Wow.
That's when you know it's bad. And I lived in my truck probably for about a year. And then I got a job as a bartender, which is great if you're alcoholic. And it was New Year's Eve, 1988, and I went to work, and everything was going great. Customers were buying me drinks and everything. Next thing I know, I wake up the next morning, knocking on the door. It's the police. I robbed the place.
Wow.
And the guy that owned the bar was a police officer. And he says, "Listen, I know you're young. You're only 20 years old. I'm going to give you a break. Either you go to a program and get clean, go to 90 meetings in 90 days, or you're going to go to jail." And back then, I was too pretty to go to jail. So I made like 360 meetings in a row, and I haven't had a drop of alcohol or drugs since. I got clean at 20.
Wow.
That's that part of the story.
First of all, congratulations on coming out of that. Two, wow. So, how did you begin this journey? I know you said you started at, I think, age 11? So,
11 or 12, somewhere around there.
Wow.
Because it was New Year's Eve, another New Year's Eve. I don't know what it is about New Year's Eve, but everybody in the house fell asleep, and I found a little bottle of Southern Comfort.
Wow.
And I just started drinking it in the house. And after that, I just felt the urge.
So,
and I also got thrown out of, I quit high school at the age of 16, so by then I was an emancipated minor.
okay.
So I don't have a formal education, but I've read over 6,000 books.
Wow. Wow.
So like I said, I don't have a formal, a book education.
Right.
So when I turned 17, it was either like, all right, I go to work or I join the military. So that's what I did. I joined the military.
Part of what we do on the show is the fact that we're all a big support of what we call 360 degrees holistic fitness and health, which means it's not just about what you physically do. It's not just about the fact of your doctor says you don't have an ailment or you're good health wise as far as physically, but if you're not mentally, spiritually, all of that
mind, body, and soul.
Exactly. So
and the funny thing is that you mentioned that is like whenever I was ever deployed anywhere,
right,
I always had a job at a GNC or the local gym. So I've been in the health and fitness industry for 32 years now.
Okay.
And actually, my clients are actually in the NFL, Major League Baseball, the WWE. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I do for a living now is I actually help people trying to do what you do.
Right. So, I mean, my biggest thing is I'm asking you, and this is for others out there. You went to AA. So how did the journey start from there? For somebody that might not, who needs this right now,
Okay.
How did it start from there?
Well, there's three parts to my story. So,
Okay.
I went to AA. I was 20 years old. And I got to AA. And there's like all the guys in the room are like 50 and 60 years old. They're old and crusty. Which now I'm the old and crusty guy because I still go to AA.
Okay.
And they always told me, sit down, shut up, don't say anything for 90 days. You don't know anything.
Right.
And I did. And the best thing about going to AA was actually I found God, or more like He found me. And it was more about self-reflection, looking deep inside yourself. And then to change, because sometimes you got to hit rock bottom to change.
Right.
And that wasn't my rock bottom at all, not even close to it.
Wow.
So I went to AA. I got clean, sober. I joined the military again, and I stayed for a couple of years. But I had an attitude. I always had a chip on my shoulder, so they were going to throw me out again for the second time, but not for drugs and alcohol, just for being an asshole. Excuse my language.
Right.
But I was due to be chaptered out on September 24th, 2001. And then 9/11 happened. And because I'm from New Jersey and we only live like 15 minutes away from the towers, we knew people that died that day.
Right.
And something broke inside me. Something switched in my mind. And like you said, I became what they call a broken man. And I dedicated the rest of my career and if I had a career, and my life to the people that we lost on 9/11. And I went to my company commander the next day. I begged for them to keep me in. By God's grace, they kept me in. 2 years later, I won Soldier of the Year award, and I finished up with 24 years in the military total. So 9/11 actually saved my life.
Wow.
That's the second part.
Keep going. Keep going. I mean, I'm blown away, but all right. Wow. So that's the second part. What would the third part be? What's the third part to you?
Well, I was in the military, and I moved back to New Jersey. And my first annual training with my unit, I was backing up a guy in his Humvee, and he instead of hitting the brakes, he hit the gas. Ran over the whole right side of my body and my head.
Wow.
And now not only am I blind, but I have PTSD, TBI. And they actually put me out of the military. They retired me out of the military. That was like 6 years ago.
Now wait, you said you have two. What is that again?
PTSD, traumatic brain injury.
Okay.
And I'm blind in my left eye.
Wow. So
and that's when I got into a deep depression. And that's when I started to come back and be like, you know what? Maybe everything that I've gone through in my life, now I can start helping other people. That's when I started giving back. And that's when I officially became the comeback coach, because everything I've been through, I keep coming back. And everybody loves a comeback story.
That's true.
So, so now if I could just help people with everything I've been through, they can realize, they can do it too. And that's what I'm trying to do. My goal is to save 1 million lives. That's my goal.
That's a worthy goal. That is in this world with all the selfishness that takes place, that is an awesome and tremendous worthy goal. Why 1 million? Why 1 million? Why that number?
Because, I went and I spoke to a guy named Gary B. And I met him when we were talking for a while. I was talking about some of my goals. He's like, dude, why are you going to go to save 100 people? I'm going to shoot for 1 million. He's like, go for big numbers. If you're going to go big. He's like, you only live once. So why not?
Understood.
And so I don't know how, I think it's more the ripple effect.
Okay.
I don't know how many people I'll affect. But if I can affect one person and it changes their whole destiny, then life is awesome.
So, what are some of the things that you did? Because the bulk of this I'm sensing and I'm hearing from what you're saying is mental. What are some of the things you did? You went to AA. 9/11 took place time after that. I know it seems like I'm shortening it, but and you're having these, what I like to say, I guess, traumatic, mental and spiritual moments.
Yeah.
What did you do? I guess I'm trying to find out, where did that uppercut come from that you're like, you know what, I'm coming out of this? That, like you said, that underdog moment, like, that.
It was actually, and I can remember the moment because my girlfriend at the time, she called me in. She's like, "This is going to be in the book that's coming out next month." So she called me in. She's like, "A plane just hit the Twin Towers." Right. And, we thought, okay, it was just a regular, plane hit. And then we started seeing everything that's happening. I just sat on the couch. And then once I seen it come to, the towers fall, and I was like, there's people that we know that are actually in the towers and not coming home anymore.
Right.
And something, like I said, something just broke in me. It said, I don't know if it's God. He said, all right, you lived for you enough. You have to start living for others from now on. And from that moment on is when it all started. Literally something clicked in my mind and in my heart. I mean, I actually broke down and started sobbing. And I think that's when I became a broken man. And I think God can only use you after you're broken.
Okay. Why? Explain that for anybody that might be listening. Explain that so that they can kind of understand a little bit more of what your mind.
It's kind of like if you're in fitness, like I'm training it. I train guys, that are professional athletes, but I also train people that are, people just starting out.
Okay.
You have to break their body down in order to build them back up. And that's what the military does. When you go to basic, they break you down to zero and then build you back up. Like if you're going to build a new house, you have to break the old one down, clear it away, and then build up. Because if you just build it on the old body, it's just going to be broken. So you have to have a good base. And I think, you have to be broken before you can, be rebuilt. You never see a place that's rebuilt on an old concrete slab.
Right. I think I understand exactly what you're saying. It's almost in a sense it's rebirth. You've exchanged the old you for the new you, and into what you've become, which I think that's just amazing.
And the biggest thing is it just comes down to making a decision. Because once you make a decision, everything else will follow. But you have to make that decision that you want to change, like that you want to get in shape. Once you make this making the decision is the hardest part.
Right.
You just have to follow the instructions after that. But making the decisions like, staying fit or, reading more, or whatever, you just have to make the decision. And that's the hardest part people come into in life, is making a decision. Indecision kills. You ever see a squirrel, he doesn't get killed because he's going left or right. He gets killed because he's undecisive.
Right.
So once you make that decision, everything else just will fall in line.
All right. So first of all, if it seems like I'm pausing, it's only because listening to you is inspiring me, and I can feel it. I can feel what you're saying. So I want to ask you this question: you've been involved with fitness majority of your life. What got you involved with fitness? Let me ask you that question.
For some reason, well, like I said, I don't have a formal education.
Right.
But when I was a kid, I was into comic books. Anything I can read. I took anything I can read.
Right.
And then my mother was a nurse, so I always had like nursing books around. And I always was interested in like, kinesiology, physiology, biology, but I hated school. I was out with 16, but it's something I was always interested in. And then I got the first issue that I ever seen of a muscle magazine.
Right.
And I was hooked. And then from then on, I have, like even to this day, I have like 6 or 8 subscriptions to fitness magazines that come every month. And it's been going on like 30 years now. I'm just addicted to it. I love it.
Right. That's awesome. So, all right. You were hit by, or I should say, bit by the fitness bug. All right.
Mm-hmm.
You've been through this, around it in your entire life. You're going through these moments, but you're still connected to fitness. The question I'm going to ask you is, after your accident, what did you do to get yourself back? Was it rehabilitation? What type of rehabilitation took place?
Well, afterwards, like I said, I was in a deep, dark place.
Right.
For like 6 or 8 months, I would say. Because the thing is, hard was, not only did I lose my vision, but close your left eye right now.
Okay.
That's what I see every day.
Wow.
Look around your room. That's what I see every day. And not only did I lose my vision, I lost my career.
Right.
Because I thought the career was a gift. Because I screwed up so much the first 2 times.
Right.
So not only did I lose my career, I had, my military career, it became who I was. Now I had to figure out who Richard was.
Gotcha.
And then I had this one day, I can't tell you when, I just woke up and I'm like, you know what? This is bullshit. I'm like, I've been through everything else. I've been through homelessness, drug addiction, alcoholism. I can get through this.
Right.
Now, when I was in the military, after I got hurt, they would send me down like 6 months. It takes 6 months to put you out.
Okay.
So we had to go down there on weekend drills, and I just started reading, but I started reading books by like Robert Kiyosaki, by Gary Vee. I started reading all these books, and I started, thinking, wow, there's something else out there for me besides just, military. And then I just decided one day, all right, get up off the couch. It's time to get back in the gym. So I just did everything that I used to do, but with one eye. And so I had to pretty much, they couldn't really do much for my shoulder. They sent me to rehab. And after 3 weeks, the guy was like, dude, you've done everything you asked me. I said, just write down what I need to do. I'll push myself harder than you will ever push me.
Right.
And they released me from there. Like, I can't get you any further. You're as far as I can get you in 3 weeks.
Wow. So
that's when I just doubled down on, the fitness and the health. And I just said, it's time to do it. I got to come back. I got a 6-year-old daughter. I can't let her,
right.
Can't let her think her father's a loser. Sit around and have a pity party. What kind of man is that?
Well, sir,
So that's what I did. I just came back.
I looked at the pictures of you. I think you shared your Facebook. I think it's a Facebook picture also of you, and also the picture in that was in the interview that you had.
Yeah.
And you look healthy. You look healthy, sir. You look you look good. I mean, how old are you?
I'll be 50 next month.
Well, I'm looking at this picture right now, sir, and you like the young people say, you got some swag. You're looking good. All right, you're looking healthy.
I'm trying. You know what it is? Because I work with like one of my guys. He plays for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay.
I can't be sloppy.
Right.
You know, but now now I'm actually getting out and doing public speaking.
Okay.
Like I do a Facebook Live twice a week. You know, seen by thousands of people.
Right.
I can't just be sloppy. I can't be the comeback coach if I can't. You know, you can't talk about it. You got to be about it.
Very true.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, now, so people hashtag the comeback coach. They don't want to see some big fat sloppy guy there. They're like, well, you know, I can't relate. But, you know, people can, you know, relate to me.
What advice would you give to somebody right now who is listening to this show, who's dealing with depression? No matter what the scenario, what would you tell them? Well,
this is something else that I'm working with a group, a nonprofit.
Okay.
They're called Joint Task Force 22-0.
Okay.
And what they do is I get out awareness that most people don't realize that 35 first responders a day commit suicide.
Wow. No, I didn't know that.
35.
Wow.
A day.
A day?
Yeah, a day. So we've lost over 10,000 since New Year's Eve.
Wow.
And the number one thing people always ask me when I'm on podcasts, and this is why I do these, I don't do this for any glory for me whatsoever. It's all about saving lives.
Right.
Ask for help. Pride kills. Sometimes you just have to humble yourself because there's people out there like me, like you, that are going to help you.
Right.
All you have to do is ask for help because it's out there. You know, just don't be that guy. You know, like I always used to think I was a tough guy. I don't need anything. You know, I'm a warrior. I got 24 years in the military. And I'm sitting home and I'm broken.
Right.
You know, it's like you have to let down that facade and say, listen, you know, I need help. You know, sometimes you have to humble yourself. And, you know, that would be the biggest thing is if you're struggling, reach out. Like me, I'm available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You message me on Facebook and I'll always get back to you. And it's free. You know, some people just don't want to humble themselves and say, I'm in pain. You know, like a lot of people ask you, hey, how are you doing? But then, if you started really telling them how you're doing, you know?
Right.
So a lot of people just like me and you, like if we went out, had dinner, and we talk about sports and we talk about the weather, but we probably wouldn't really talk deep.
Right.
And I think we have to start talking deep in this world now instead of all this other stuff that's going on.
Superficial.
So probably just ask for help. That would be the biggest thing.
So is it, and you probably already said this, but I just want to say again. So do you feel that people don't because it's more ego, or is it just fear of letting people know that they're vulnerable, or?
Well, you know, I think that's what it was. Like how this all started, this whole podcasting thing. I was on my friend Donnie's podcast. He has a podcast called Success Champions, and we were talking about, you know, all the guys I have in the different sports and who I train and all that. And now I told him my backstory.
Okay.
And he's like, that's what you need to tell people.
Right.
Everybody, there's thousands of people in the health and fitness industry. Your backstory is what people need to hear.
Right.
And that's when I started. He's like, I want you to go back and watch that movie 8 Mile with Eminem.
Eminem,
said,
right.
Okay.
Great movie.
And I'm like, why? He's like, just watch the ending scene. So I watched the ending scene like 5 times. And I called him that day. He's like, I want you to go on Facebook and I want you to tell everybody anything that you've ever done wrong. And I'm like, why? He's like, because then you have the power. Then you can help other people because they know that you're vulnerable and you are who you are. And that's what I did. I went out the next day and did a Facebook Live and, you know, told everybody, yeah, I'm a drug addict. You know, I'm an alcoholic. You know, I was homeless. Yeah, but now I got a beautiful wife. I got a beautiful house. I got 3 beautiful children. I run $1 million company. Why can't you? What's your excuse? And people see that, you know, that's okay. He's a regular guy. And he's out there to help people. He's on a mission to help people. And people like when people are vulnerable, you know? And pride kills. And a lot of people think so much about what everybody else thinks about them.
Very true.
What is the social media going to say? What kind of comments are you going to get on social media? It doesn't matter in the end. It doesn't really matter.
You're so right. You're so right, Richard. I mean, wow. I mean, for everybody listening, I feel like, at least right now, as I'm listening, it's a breath of fresh air because it's the truth. It's the simple, unadulterated truth. You know, I mean, we are, especially in this age, very stuck as far as our perception of what we want to put out. You know, what we're putting out. And a lot of the times, we don't know what's really going on inside. It's the 100% truth. Now, you said you train individuals. And again, you before that, you said that you have no formal education. I'm just curious, did you get a certification or how did you get it?
I got certified through NCSF.
Okay.
ISSA.
Okay.
Stratford Career Institute. You know, but I never, you know, I don't have any college.
Right.
You know, and you know, and the way people got, you know, in touch with me because, like, you see a lot of guys, bodybuilders, you go into a store and they can tell you about creatine, you know, they can tell you about protein.
Right.
But then you start talking, you get a woman that comes in there and says, you know, I'm having a urinary tract infection. What do I do? And they're like, their eyes glaze over, you know?
True. Very true.
So they don't really know, you know, about the body. They just know about, you know, pumping up and bodybuilding.
Right.
So, you know, I started doubling down on, you know, to actually educate myself. Like I said, that's why I've read so much because it became a passion of mine. Like I want to know why things are.
Right.
So now I get people that, like, I've been the store I'm at now. I've been there going on 10 years. He's been there 23. So he has a generational store where people that he took care of in high school are bringing their kids that are in high school back. And that's how I met, because I only live like 15 minutes from, you know, New York. So I met a lot of the Giants players, the Jets players, you know, the WWE guys, and that's how I started getting known in those circles.
Got you. Wow. Richard, I'm blown away. I feel inspired by you because when I have these conversations, truthfully, this is a passion of mine. You know, health, fitness, and which I got from my father. And I love to talk to other passionate people. You know, because to me, it's like this is what it's all about. You know, it's the each one teach one. It's the helping one another. So again, I want to thank you so much for coming on and just telling a little bit about yourself, your story. Where can people contact you? Please tell us your information so that if somebody needs your help, they can contact you.
Just go to Richard Kaufman on Facebook, and I'm sure you'll put that in the liner notes and all that.
Most definitely.
Or they could just hashtag the comeback coach.
The comeback coach.
And that'll come up because everything that I do. Because when I met Gary, we were talking. He's like, I'm like, give me a nugget. Give me a nugget before I leave here.
Right.
Because everything you do, make a hashtag. He said this way, if people just hashtag one thing, it comes up on all your social media.
Right.
And I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. So now somebody hashtag, you know, the comeback coach, my podcast, my Twitter, my Instagram, my Facebook, my Pinterest, it all comes up.
Well, please leave us all of that because I know we want to. I know your Facebook, please tell them your Instagram, because us millennials, well, I'm not a millennial, but a lot of millennials, they go by Instagram. Please, what's your Instagram?
It's all the comeback, Coach.
Awesome. Mr. Richard Kaufman, everyone.
The comeback, yep. And like I said, please, even if you're just struggling, if you're thinking about it, if you're thinking about ending your life, it's not worth it. This too shall pass. Just reach out and say, listen, I need help. Even if you're somebody to talk to, I'm available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it doesn't cost a penny. That's it. And my new book will be out December 18th.
What's the title? What's the title?
The Hero's Journey.
Okay.
From Darkness to Light.
And where will that be? Where can people get that?
I don't. It's probably going to be just on my Facebook page, and then I'm going to see if I can get a publisher. I'm self-publishing it.
Okay.
But I'm so blessed because I actually got the opening quote is from the Christopher Reeve Foundation.
Okay. Wow.
About being a hero. Now, the whole premise is I don't ever consider myself a hero, but a hero is a person that ran towards the buildings on 9/11 when everybody else was running away from it. And what I'm doing is the book is going to cost $35.22 because what it means is 35 first responders today commit suicide, and 22 veterans is included in that. And I'm giving 35% of the proceeds back to the nonprofit.
That's beautiful.
And all it is just my story that I just told you in a nutshell. But then you're going to have a chapter on how to, if you're a person that has a family member that's dealing with depression, what depression looks like, and what alcoholism looks like, and how, and there's going to be some things in the back for how people can get help, phone numbers and, website addresses and stuff like that.
Mr. Kaufman, I want to extend our show to you and a guest to come back when your book drops. I would love for you to come back and talk more about your book. For those because I know it can help, and we've had other individuals come on and talk about depression, and I don't think it gets talked about enough. I sincerely don't think it gets talked about enough.
If you actually 128 people a day commit suicide in the United States.
Wow.
1 every 5 minutes. And it's because of the depression and because people are just not getting the help that they need. And that's where I'm focusing the rest of my life on helping those people. That's what my goal is.
Well, in any way we can help you further your goal, we are here to do that. Again, like I said, we would love to have you come back on, talk about the book, talk about basically if you you let us know, because to me this is what it's all about. This is what health is truly about.
And people want, they can catch me on my Facebook. I do a Facebook Live every Monday night, 8 o'clock.
You also do it on Friday, right?
I do, Fitness Fridays.
Right.
Because way I do, people have any questions, fitness questions, I always answer those. And on Monday night, it's the Monday, because I'm a big wrestling fan. Ever since I met all the guys in the WWE.
Same here. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, so probably some of the nicest guys I've ever met. Like I was sitting for lunch one day with Triple H and the Undertaker, and I started calling him, the Undertaker, like, dude, just call me Mark. And, Triple H is like, just call me Paul. I was like, how cool is that?
That's
awesome. With Kurt Angle, you'll probably see that on my Facebook page, pictures with Kurt Angle and all the other guys from sports. But it's the Monday night show I have is it's called the Monday Night Comeback.
Okay.
And where I just go live with a certain topic.
Now,
and every Monday night.
Now, quick question: do you have now? You do the Monday night comeback. You do the Fitness Fridays. Do you have a podcast as well?
Yes, I do. And what it is, it's called Recovery and Redemption.
Okay.
But it's only I only do like 2 or 3 minute snippets.
Okay.
Just like Gary Vee does, like a couple minutes, just whatever's going on that day, just so people can click on while they're on their way to work, and not get stuck and listen to an hour podcast. And it just gets people pumped up. So I do it every couple of days. It's called Recovery and Redemption. And it'll be, a different subject every day. It might just be, like yesterday, I heard a great podcast by Ed Milet, which is one of my, one of the greatest guys I've ever met. And so I just piggybacked on what he was talking about. So it's just little snippets, and I've had only there's not a lot. I've only had maybe 1,000 listens.
Okay.
But if one person decided to get help, then it's worth it, putting in the time.
Now, is this on your Facebook as well, or is it on another platform? Okay.
It's on Anchor.
Anchor. Okay.
Now, I just want to tell you, I thought it's something new, and I would be remiss to not talk about it. I'm sorry if I'm running over your time.
No,
I apologize.
No. Please go for it.
There's a project I'm involved with. It's called the Jeff Chambers Project. Okay. I have a friend, and he has to get a kidney transplant. And the doctors cleared him for a transplant, but he has to lose, he has to get healthy in order to. Okay. So the doctors gave him 5 months to get healthy. And I was like, dude, if we do this together, you'll be ready for surgery in 2 months.
Right.
So he has to lose a certain amount of weight. He has to get certain things done. And he's like, I don't know what to do. I said, you know what? I said, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to follow the same food program. I'm going to follow the same workout program. And we're going to do it together. So we started Monday on the Jeff Chambers Project. Okay. So now the doctors wanted him to go on dialysis, keep on going on dialysis for 5 months. We're going to get him off in 2 months and have him have the surgery. How awesome is that?
That's
and I'm doing it
amazing,
meal by meal, workout by workout with him, even though we're in different states.
Okay.
And it's free.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's truly awesome.
So if I can get him to live and change his whole family dynamic, I've changed the world in a way.
I like the fact of what you just said. Honestly, because you just said the key word, if you can get him to live. And I feel that many individuals out here don't know how to truly live. Not truly. There's a way that we're taught, and then there's a way that we're supposed to truly live. So I definitely love what it is that you just said.
Well, I have an uncle. He died he died a multi-millionaire.
Okay.
And he died younger. And he said, son, he says, I got this big house. I got all this money. I can't buy back a single day. He says, you need to enjoy every day as it's your last. He says, one day it will be. And I've kind of, ever since getting run over, and the funny thing is I never wore my helmet before then. That was the first time I actually wore my helmet. And it saved me. So it was like, all right, God's telling me something.
Right.
So now I just live every day as it's my last day. To make an impact in this world.
Richard, I have to end it because I'll be on here and I'll have the whole show. And the people with me, they'll be like, hey, and I'm like, I'm waving them off. I want to thank you again. I definitely want to thank you
for having me.
It's an honor. I'm again inviting you at any point. If you have my number. If you text me, hey son, I want to come on your show. I want to talk about. Hey, it's an open invitation.
Well, what we can do is one day we can actually get together. Because I'm only 2 hours from Philly. We can actually get together, go for lunch sometime.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. So everybody that's ever interviewed me on my podcast, on their podcast, they're all friends of mine now. Because I will promote your show 10 times more than I will ever promote anything of mine at all.
Well,
you'll see that on my Facebook page, that I'm always promoting others. And, that's how I have, I can't even have any more friends, so I'm at 5,000. I'm at the limit. And on LinkedIn, I'm at 16,000. Because I always try to promote my friends. I always wanted their lives to be better. Because Gary Vee says, the more you promote other people, the more they'll promote you. Even Zig Ziglar said you can have anything you want in this world if you help enough people get what they want.
That's very true.
So the more friends you have, the better life is.
Man, when man honors man, he honors the creator.
Exactly,
That's
and as long as you're doing good things, God's always going to take care of his own.
That's very true. The great God of the universe, man. Hey, look, Richard, everybody, like I said, again, I'm smiling. I don't know if you can hear I'm smiling because I feel really good from this conversation.
Good, I'm glad. So let me know whenever it goes live, and then put it out on all my platforms.
Most definitely. Also, we do have to have lunch. I travel to New York often, so
okay.
I'm always not far. And definitely now I'm gonna tell you now I'm vegan, so we're gonna have to find a spot where we can both eat.
Hey, I'm not mad at you.
All right.
I ain't mad at you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Everybody, Richard Kaufman. Listen, I feel like I've been talking to a good friend on here. I mean,
everybody says that. I had a guy, we did a podcast, we were at 90 minutes. He's like, oh my God. I just felt like I just talked to my best friend for hours. Yeah, that's what it should be.
It's the truth.
People don't want to listen to somebody that's monotone and boring. You're like, oh my God. You want to keep, you want to have fun.
That's very true. That's very true. I mean, I'm sitting here cracking up, and I'm like, man, you gotta be serious. I'm like, but this has been awesome.
I hope if we could just reach one of your audience, it was all worth it.
Most definitely, Richard. I'm gonna finally listen to one of my staff mates who's like, all right, I get it. Thank you for coming on to the podcast. I appreciate you. You have an open invitation. We will have lunch. Definitely, most definitely now.
And just know that your mom is in my prayers, okay?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Don't get in trouble with your staff.
You're listening to the Della Fit Podcast.
So, big shout out to Richard Kaufman. Everyone, I appreciate him so much for coming on to the De La Fit podcast. He is a great individual. He's a nice guy, humble guy. Short story, after the interview, we ended up texting back and forth talking about WWE. He's a big fan, and so am I. Anybody that knows me truly knows I'm a WWE fan, have been for years. And it was comical because we were I was asking him what era did he prefer. I'm more of a NWA, WWF era time, Dusty Rhodes, Magnum, TA, the Freebirds type of guy. And he's more of the 90s Attitude era, which I like, but I'm kind of a big fan of both, but more so the early era. So we text back and forth about that for a little while. And I just want to say again, thank you to him for coming on to the show and sharing his experience, his story, his trials, tribulations, and his comeback. He's truly worthy of the title, the comeback coach, in my book. And I want to thank him personally because individuals like him give hope. I certainly hope that anybody that's tuning in and listening, you were able to get something positive out of this. At the utmost, I hope you were able to take back some hope. Hope, in my opinion, is the spiritual food that human beings need on this earth. Without hope, I don't know what else is. Hope is what drives us. It's what spurs us on. It's our motivation. It's our inspiration to continue to grow and progress and to move forward. and to not give up. And it is very, 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 very easy to give up. We live in very troubling times, and it seems like things are getting harder and harder, no matter what you believe, no matter where you're turning. It's difficult. It is truly difficult, and I've witnessed that personally with friends, family, and individuals I have been the opportunity, I should say, to be around. So it is a difficult time that we are in, but people like Richard Kaufman, a lot of the guests that come on this show, individuals that are out there constantly giving back to one another, we thank you. We thank you because you help give hope, and that's what's very much needed. Again, Rich Kaufman's book is A Hero's Journey from Darkness to Light. He is self-publishing the book. As soon as we find out when the book is out, as soon as he is prepared, we will be showing and putting the information on our website, which is www.delafitpodcast.com, and having a link to where you can purchase the book, which is his story. And again, thank you so much for coming on to the show, Richard. And to all of you out there listening, thank you for spending your time here. Time is of the essence. Time is something that is valued, and we thank you so much for sitting down and taking that time to spend it with us here, to listen. When I started this podcast, I had no idea what would take place. I didn't even know how to start a podcast, and I've said this before, but I am very proud, and I'm very proud of the fact of all the individuals I have been blessed to talk to and to learn from. It inspires me to keep going, so I hope that this podcast is doing the same thing for you listeners out there. I hope you are getting and gathering information. I hope it is inspiring you to continue, inspiring you to improve upon your physical fitness, your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health, your financial health. Anything that you feel is lacking in your life, I hope that this podcast is helping you, because that's what this podcast is about. It is holistic fitness and health. It is not just a tagline. It's something that we totally believe because we all need it. Fitness is not just how much you bench. It's not just what the doctors say. It's not just eating clean. It's not your diet. It's everything. It is everything. Anyway, we're going to call it a day. For many people, I know you're out there, you probably, like, hey, where's the Dropping the Jewels section? The Dropping the Jewels section will be returning. It will be returning next week. We will have Brittany Noel. She will be coming back, and we will be talking to her about your topics that you email us, which if you're looking or you have a topic that you want us to tackle or talk about, or you have a question to ask us, you can hit us up at dayla13@gmail.com. You can also go to our website again, which is www.delafitpodcast.com, and go to the contact section and just click on that little link there and type in what it is that you want us to talk about, your topic or your question. You can also find us on Facebook at, again, De La Fit Podcast. We are on Instagram also at day_la_fit podcast. So we are all over the internet. We are all over social media. We are out there looking for you, and we hope you're looking for us. As always, I thank you so much for tuning in. Be progressive, be loving, be fit.
You've been listening to the De La Fit podcast. Ta-ta for now.